3.
Good morning to one and all. On behalf of Bal Vikas School, I, Vandana Ahuja, along with Archana Devan, Kamlesh Singhal, Vandana Bhatnagar, and Nidhi Mata, welcome you to the webinar on National Education Policy 2020 for Parents. The NEP 2020 is a comprehensive landmark document meant to be introduced in the 21st century. We are in the third phase of NEP, the last national policy of education that was implemented in 1986, 34 years ago, is being replaced by the new Education Policy 2020. This policy is deeply rooted in Indian ethos. Every child should have love in his or her heart for their country. As teachers, parents, and guardians, it is our duty to instill this in the children of India. Patriotism takes its seat in the school. We need to prepare them to become a global citizen. They need to develop a sense of pride and respect for the country and be responsible for human rights, sustainable development, global well-being, thereby becoming truly global citizen. Now, I hand it over to Archana Diwan.
Thank you, ma'am. The policy aims at transforming curricular pedagogical structure from the existing 10 plus 2 years to 5 plus 3 plus 4 structure of school education. To begin with, the actual number of years remains the same. Foundational stage is for 5 years for ages 3 to 8. The multi-level play activity based learning would include 3 years of Anganwadis, preschool, or as commonly called play schools, and the kindergarten classes catering to ages 3 to 6. To this, the grades 1 and 2 for students of ages 6 to 8 would also be added, keeping the focus on development of language skills and teaching by play-based and activity-based curriculum. Preparatory stage is for ages 8 to 11 or classes 3 to 5. The focus would shift to play, discovery, and activity-based and interactive classroom learning. The focus till this stage would remain on development of language and numeracy skills in accordance with cognitive development of a child. Medium of instruction till grade 5 would be home language, mother tongue, or local language. 3 languages would be taught to all students and states would decide which ones. Middle stage. Referring to the classes 6 to 8, the new structure aims at transforming pedagogy from the existing system to a more experiential learning in the sciences and humanities. Focus would be on critical learning objectives and not on rote learning. Secondary stage. This includes classes 9 to 12 or the secondary and the higher secondary as we know them today. The changes suggested at this stage include a multidisciplinary study where students will be able to pick and choose any set of subjects from the available structure. The focus would be on greater critical thinking and flexibility, allowing the child to pick subjects as per their interest, even technical and arts. There will be more frequent assessment of modules. Key principles of NEP include respect for diversity as well as local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. It should be a reflection of our basic ideology as Indians. Equity and inclusion as the cornerstones of all educational decisions. Equity means that every child should get good education. Inclusion means, irrespective of differences that the child may be having in terms of understanding or differential abilities, the child should get the best education. The entire community should feel responsible for the overall growth of the child. They should participate in the development of the child. Use of technology is essential for removing the language barriers, especially for the students with special needs and for Divyang students. Technology can be used in educational planning and management. To discourage rote learning, we need to lay emphasis on conceptual understanding, recognizing the capabilities that each child possesses is an important part of NEP. Critical thinking and creativity is an essential part of the 4 C's. It increases the scientific and mathematical capabilities. Continuous review based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational experts is again extremely important. Now let us hear from Kamlesh ma'am what she has to say about NEP 2020.
Thank you, Archana. The very first requirement in this direction will be to ensure decent and pleasant service conditions at schools. Adequate and safe infrastructure, including working toilets, clean drinking water, clean and attractive spaces conducive to learning, electricity, computing devices, and the internal library and sports and recreational resources will be important to private to all schools in order to ensure that teachers and students, including children of all genders and children with disabilities, receive a safe, non-violent, inclusive, and effective learning environment and are comfortable and inspired to teach and learn in their schools. Early childhood, defined as the period from birth to 8 years old, is a time of remarkable growth with brain development at its peak. During this stage, children are highly influenced by the environment and the people that surround them. ECCE aims at the holistic development of a child's social, emotional, cognitive, and physical needs in order to build a solid and broad foundation for lifelong learning and well being. The focus here is on good behavior, ethics, courtesy, personal and public hygiene, cleanliness. It is important to instill these values in children. Emphasis is to be laid on teamwork and cooperation. Critical thinking and analysis are key features of this policy. A practice-based curriculum for 6 to 8 will be approximately designed by NCERT while framing the NCFSC 2020-21. All students will participate in a 10-day bagless period sometime during grades 6 to 8 where they intern with local vocational experts such as carpenters, gardeners, potters, artists, etc. Similar internship opportunities to learn vocational subjects may be made available to students throughout grades 6 to 12, including holiday periods. Vocational courses through online mode will also be made available. Bagless days will be encouraged throughout the year for various types of enrichment activities involving arts, quizzes, sports, and vocational crafts. Now, Nidhi Mata will continue.
Thank you, Kamlesh ma'am. Certain 21st century skills that we need to include in our classrooms. Children are digital natives, and we all happen to be digital migrants. To narrow the gap between these two things, it's important to inculcate these in the curriculum. The 4 C's lined up on the right side: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity are an important part of the skills we need to instill in the children. Children need to learn to work in groups. They need to have better communication skills so that they can express themselves. Critical thinking questions asked should be open ended. They need to think in a creative manner. While narrating stories, children can be creative and give a different end to the stories. Each child needs to imbibe social responsibilities. He needs to think beyond himself, his family, his school, and his own little neighborhood. He has to feel responsible for the country and the entire globe. Ethics and value system is very important to inculcate in the children. Scientific temper needs to be developed from grade 1 and 2. Problem solving attitude needs to be instilled. Children need to find the best solution out of the given options. Because of COVID, the entire world has gone into the digital mode, and moreover, everyone is equipped with this skill. Basic training will be given for health education. To reduce the burden, new techniques are being introduced. Books will be made lighter by the day. More research oriented knowledge will be imparted. Emphasis will be laid on personal and public hygiene and first aid. Detrimental and damaging effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs will also be a part of health education from grade 2. The key features of NEP 2020 is to integrate sports with other subjects. It is not only meant to be played in the ground. For the holistic development of children, sports need to be integrated with subjects like maths, science, English, etc. Now I ask Vanda Bhatnagar to summarize NEP 2020.
Thank you, Nidhi ma'am. We all know that education cannot be in watertight compartments anymore. There need to be diversity because there are so many opportunities. One of the critical characters of NEP 2020 is flexibility. It is integrated yet flexible. To make it flexible, NEP has also introduced the entry exit policy so that learning and specialization for a student are more enjoyable. The new national education policy wants to make the 4-year undergraduate courses of the bachelor's degree multidisciplinary by permitting students their own choice of course, whether they want a 1-year, 2-year, 3-year, or a 4-year course. Depending on how long a course they study, they will be awarded diploma or degree. Students can get a certificate after a 1-year program, an advanced diploma after 2 years, a bachelor's degree after 3 years, and a bachelor's with research after 4 years. 4-year undergraduate courses will boost vocational and practical knowledge to get jobs once they are out of college. This kind of flexibility gives students adequate options in planning their careers, taking care of life events that may require them to discontinue their studies for some reason at any point. This would encourage many students to enroll and study in college for as long as they want or can. Among the other things, the NEP 2020 suggests a slew of reforms to school education with a focus on flexibility of subject and eliminating silos between streams of learning. In the existing academic structure, there are three streams which a student can choose from: science, commerce, arts. Whereas in the new academic structure, there is no hard separation of streams. A student can choose his stream according to his or her interest or desire. When we talk about pedagogical structure, it is 10 plus 2 plus 3 now, but it will be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 in the new academic structure. Board exams are based on memorizing facts and used to be held once a year, but board exams will be based on core competencies with students allowed to take the exam twice according to NEP. In the present academic structure, after completion of 3 or 4 years, the degree is provided to the students, whereas multiple exit options with certificate after 1 year and diploma after 2 years will be provided. When we talk about vocational education in the present academic structure, actually there is none. But vocational education will begin from class 6 with internship in the new academic structure. Mark sheets are based on marks obtained in exam, whereas in the new structure, 360-degree performance evaluation will be done. We have multiple entrance tests in the present structure, but in the new structure, single entrance test will be there. With NEP 20 prescribing the playway approach, the schools would be in a better position to rationalize the curriculum and introduce age-appropriate pedagogy. With the child-centered approach at the heart of the learning experience, the teachers will be able to allocate equal time for social, emotional development, creativity through arts and aesthetics, and also focus on physical growth of the child. This is in total contrast to the previous emphasis on memorization and rote learning. It is clear that the new changes proposed in the NEP are bound to increase focus on understanding and application of core concepts rather than mechanical memorization of information. After many years, the NEP 2020 is long awaited first step towards a holistic approach of learning that will help students develop skills as per their inherent aptitude and competencies, and that can only mean exciting new things are in store for the education system and students in India. I would like to conclude by saying the only journey is the one you never begin. Thank you.